people see us in scrubs, moving from room to room, checking charts, and giving medication. But there's so much more to this job than anyone can see from the outside. It's not just a job. It's something that takes over your mind, your body, your heart. And every day, it's a balancing act between exhaustion and compassion. The shifts can be brutal, 12 hours, sometimes more. You're on your feet all day, and there's always something urgent, something that needs your attention. It's like running a marathon, only you don't know when the finish line is. You think about sitting down, about resting for just 5 minutes. But there's no time. There's always another patient, another alarm, another call for help. By the end of a shift, your body feels like it's been through the ringer. But even though you're exhausted, your mind keeps going. You keep thinking about the next patient you have to see, the next task you have to complete. It's not just the physical exhaustion that gets to you, it's the emotional weight. You see people at their most vulnerable. You're the one they turn to when they're scared, in pain, or just need someone to listen. And you carry that with you, long after your shift is over. You try to leave it behind when you go home, but it's hard. You think about that patient who didn't make it, the family who was heartbroken. You wonder if you did enough, if you could have done more. There are days when it feels like no matter how much you give, it's never enough. But you keep going, because that's what the job demands. That's what your patients need. And then there are the tough situations. Patients who are scared and lash out. Families who are overwhelmed and looking for answers, even when there aren't any easy ones. You're the one in the middle of it all, trying to stay calm, trying to be the steady hand they need. Some days, you're more than just a nurse. You're a counselor, a peacemaker, a problem solver. It can feel overwhelming, but you remind yourself that they're scared too. They just want their loved one to be okay. Even when it's hard, you have to stay strong because they're depending on you. And that's the part of the job people don't see, the weight of the responsibility you carry. But despite the long hours, the stress, the exhaustion, there are moments that make it all worth it. Moments when a patient looks at you and says, "Thank you." When you help someone recover, when you know you made a difference. Those moments, they're the reason you keep going. It's not every day, but when it happens, it's everything. It's why I chose this job, and it's why I stay, even when it's hard. The reward isn't always immediate, but it's there, in the smiles, the relief, the gratitude. And those are the moments that stay with you. But when you go home, the job doesn't always leave you. The exhaustion lingers, and so do the thoughts. Did I do everything I could? Did I make the right call? It's hard to switch off when your mind is still back in that hospital room. You come home, and you're too tired to talk. You want to be present with your family, but sometimes the weight of the day is just too much. It's a sacrifice, one that every nurse makes. You give so much of yourself to your patients that there's not always a lot left when you walk through your own front door. Nursing isn't just a career, it's a life. A life filled with challenges, with exhaustion, but also with moments of hope, compassion, and strength. It's not always easy, and it's not always recognized, but every nurse knows that what they do matters. And that's why we keep going, day after day. To every nurse out there, we see you, we appreciate you. Your stories matter, and the world needs to hear them.